So guys, welcome back to Leicester Fan TV. Today we'll be bringing you the tactics talk for the FA Cup game against QPR at the weekend. Really, it's going to be an interesting one. I think a lot of fans would say a game that we should go out there and win, a game that will probably put some confidence into the team. Before I forget to mention it, we're going live as well tonight. I believe, is it Jono and Simon? They're going live tonight with Loft for Words, QPR, obviously Fan TV channel, to speak from their point of view and what they think from the game. So tune in tonight for a very interesting matchup with Leicester versus QPR. And then we'll get into our team. Obviously, this is Tactics Talk. We'll see. Get your comments in, get your views in. I see a couple popping up. Morning, Mark. How are you? Obviously, there's a couple from Jenny Radcliffe talking about Everton. Jenny, if you're still watching, because this was before the show was set up. Yeah, obviously we could talk about a little bit bits and bobs, but Everton's in a few weeks' time, so feel free to come back when we play you a couple of days before, the week before, to watch our shows and comment then. But right now we're going to keep it focused on the FA Cup and QPR. So really, let's get into the teams, make a start.
Well, firstly then, it's going to be a very mixed team, isn't it, this week going into the FA Cup. On my team sheet, I've gone Iverson in goal. I don't think Stolisic should play. Maybe give a bit more time for Man to get back. Hopefully, I don't know. Probably won't be fit for the Crystal Palace game in midweek. But again, I don't see a reason why we should start Stolisic in this game. You'd maybe start Ward, but for me, just give it Iverson some game time. He's not played at all this year.
Yeah,
so.
I think obviously with Hermansen being out, it's been a tough discussion. We have conceded quite a few goals. There's only so much someone like Hermansen could do when the four players in front of him massively, not performing to the standards we need them to. So, yeah, Iverson, I agree. I put him in my team. I think he needs a bit of game time. And I think Stolisic has been okay. I did say for the last game I would start Iverson just to mix the two around, but I assume he will start in the cup game. And I imagine really, in my eyes anyway, I think we're going to play quite a heavy B team against QPR just purely because we're playing two home games in a week and two games that, we need to really pick up some points on, especially Palace. I think if we're playing just one game next weekend, I'd say put a full team out against QPR and, the lads need to get a bit of confidence. But we're not blessed with that choice, I don't think, now going into two Premier League games next week.
Yeah, I agree. We'll move into the defence then. Again, very changed in my opinion. Left back, I'm going Luke Thomas. I don't think he really put a foot wrong against Villa, if I'm totally honest. I think the one player you'd probably all say he's not good enough for the league. And he came in against Villa and, for me, showed him what he could do. Does he take Christensen's place in the Premier League next week? I don't know. If he's fit, I think I would still play Christensen. But, yeah, for me, it's Luke Thomas in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think confidence is a massive thing in football. But I think, Thomas pre-relegation under Rodgers, he did, he played well. I think that season, obviously, I remember that Man U game when he scored an absolutely lovely goal. But, there was times where he was playing quite well in that season and coming up to him, he's a decent little academy player and the confidence is shot. Rudy's just passed me his phone, a bit of news, which I'll read out before we carry on. Ruud van Nistelrooy just held his QPR press conference. So this is from Owen Palmer-Atkin at BBC Radio Leicester. Hermansen will be out for a number of weeks. I assume that means from now. He's still going to be out for quite a while. Vestergaard should be on grass tomorrow and McAteer is back in training. I take that as Vestergaard's got a little bit of a knock as well then. I don't know. Did he play the game?
He got injured against Villa, but it looks like he's back on the grass, so he probably won't fit. He's not going to be fit for this weekend, but hopefully if it's not Palace, he'll be fit.
Well, there you go. That shows you about Hermansen and a couple of the other players that could be out. Thomas, really, let's see you right back as well then.
See, this is where I'm gonna stick in Chowdhury. I think we need to get him a bit of game time. I don't see a right back coming in.
So long as he's still here.
Maybe so. Maybe, yes, he has been linked to go away. But as of now, there's no way in hell I'm starting JJ any game going forward until maybe in a few weeks' time or maybe in a month's time when he's had a bit of a break and wants to get back into that team and show his quality again. But for me, Chowdhury goes in there. I don't think we're going to get a right back in before the Palace game. So for me,
I think we look to get anyone in before the end of the window.
Exactly. So for me, I'm going to put the only player that can fill that role in, and that's Chowdhury. And gave him a bit of game time in that role against QPR until we go to Palace to play in the Premier League again. So for me, it's definitely Chowdhury.
Okay. I'll go into my team. So, like I say, Thomas, good game against Villa. Does it warrant his place ahead of Christensen? I don't think Christensen's been that bad when you look at the back four.
Mm-hmm.
He is probably actually the one that, I wouldn't say he's standout, but he definitely doesn't make those key mistakes that, cause goals. So I would agree with starting Thomas for the QPR game, get him some minutes under his belt, and then maybe revert back to Christensen for the Wednesday game against Palace, or and then come back to Thomas for the Fulham game, just like I say, because we've got a few games in a week.
The more game time Thomas gets, the more, and the way we played against Villa, I don't think he had a bad game. If you can get that interchanging player when you've got Christensen one game and then Luke Thomas, it gives a bit of a different dynamic to the team. So maybe you do use him here and there instead of always using the same player. I think that might be a bit refreshing as well into the team.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like you said, the issue is, I think at the moment, is the players' quality. I think we've gone through all of the players and some this year. Because, I think a lot of teams, minus injuries, don't really shuffle the players around so much that kind of who's a player for start 11, who's going to be on the bench, and who's going to be a bench warmer, really.
Yeah, Terence here says let Edouard play and earn his money. Well, I'll tell you now, we'll get to them later on. We won't mention the strikers just yet. David says Akoli has to play. I think he's done nothing wrong anyways. I don't think he's done that much wrong. I just don't know if he's suited into the Premier League that well.
I mean,
I think maybe he's off a bit with it.
You're not wrong. I don't think you're right either. I think that all the centre-backs, they've all done something wrong, the way you could say, well, anyone that's better wouldn't make those mistakes. I'm picking out a few. Akoli against Man U, again, he made way too many errors. And I think that's what started his, drop from the team, because it wasn't good enough. And that's, that was really a Sunday League performance from him. I think it was like a 2 out of 10 on, I can't remember whatever the score system is, maybe like FootMob, whatever the hell it is now these days.
Opta.
Yeah, there you go. So I think that's why he got dropped. Cody, again, I think some of the big issues you can see is he's got a big voice, but then when it comes to putting it on the pitch, it doesn't work out as well. Obviously, Man City, that Haaland's goal, playing the miles onside, when the defensive line's not there. It's all individual errors, and you can say same for Fires, he made himself errors.
I do get his point, though, that maybe when now Vestergaard is out, and you probably won't play him anyway in this game, who else does go into that back line? We will talk about that in a minute. We'll get into your right back first.
Yeah, I'm putting Justin back in my right back spot just purely because I want to see Hamza in there in the Premier League, so... my only reason is I give Hamza that bit of extra rest time for the Wednesday games. I agree. I think Justin does need dropping. I think his confidence is really shot at the moment, and he's down, in the dumps probably a little bit with a lot of what's happening. I mean, I saw a stat that Justin alone has given away 18 points this year, which is not good enough, really. And I put him in my team purely because I want to see Hamza in the Premier League games, and I'd rather rest him for that.
Yeah, Mike Rock here says when's Ricky P meant to be back? I'm not too sure. I think it may be a couple of months still now.
God knows. I think we've kind of agreed. Players like Ricky P and Pereira, you might as well take them out of the 25-man team so we can free up some space, because they're both Ricky P, a liability, isn't he? Really, he gets injured a lot, and Fatu is out for the rest of the season. So I take both those two out to free up some spots.
Yeah. Right. Let's get into defence. Into the centre backs. For me, I've gone Faze and Akoli. I think Cody and Vestergaard have been the main two in the team the last couple of games in the Premier League. So just give a bit of time for both of the players who haven't had much of a chance either. I'm struggling to spell at the moment. There you go. Both the defenders that haven't really had much game time, I think they need to get a bit more game time. And you never know, if Vestergaard is out for the Palace game next week, one of these two probably will have to fill in. So you might want to give a bit of game time to him.
Yeah, I agree. They'd be my centre-back pairings as well for this game. Like you said, purely because Vestergaard and Cody have been the main Premier League starters. So no doubt we'll swap it around to these two. And
I wouldn't be shocked if one of them two, if both of them are fit, one of them just play because they're a bit more leadership-wise. If Cody played, one of them two would play with him. I don't think both
Maybe.
Vestergaard would play if he
Again,
is
like
fit.
we said, we're trying to pick between players that are just really they're not good enough for the Premier League. So they've all got mistakes in them. And I mean, really, the rumours of Ockley going, isn't there? That
Only
that
after 4 months.
Yeah, I mean,
Mad.
God knows what's going on there. But
Yeah.
all those things.
The Aussie Filbert says Ward would likely start over Iverson, and I wouldn't be annoyed because as long as he doesn't start in the Premier League, I wouldn't be.
I think most fans would probably be annoyed. And we saw him start.
I don't mind him in the FA Cup. Like if we went out, I wouldn't even blame him. I would just be like, yeah, let's get out of this cup.
Well, I don't think.
But I do want to try and get through the cup if we can. I know it's not important for us at the moment, but
no, I guess you put it into some perspectives of. Is it getting through the FA Cup important this season? Absolutely not. Is it embarrassing to go and lose to QPR? Yes. When we've lost 5 in a row, if we go and lose to QPR as well.
Didn't we lose them in the Championship last year? We lost to them in
at
home.
I don't know if we
at home
we
did.
We
did
them away.
I think Illich Chair scored against us. Terence says put Cody in the back line and captain the side. Again, I don't think he's really done that last couple of games, if I'm totally honest. Out of the two, I probably would have stopped Vestergaard, but not in this game. I'd save him for the Premier League. Terence also says Coley, unpolished diamond, give him time. I agree. I think if you give him more time, I think he'd look better.
The issue is there's no time to give this season. You've seen where we are now, and we really don't have time. If we're going to run on the premise of give players time, which I get in a stable mid-table Premier League team, you get that. You can find some, like you said, diamonds, a bit like Brighton are doing, but we ain't comfortable. We need to find players that are ready for here and now, and that's the reality of it. We can't keep signing players that are could-be's. We need to bring in some players. Yep,
fair enough. Right, Sam, I'll let you go first in your midfield. Who are you picking for the 2/1 centre mid that you're going to pick?
Again, I think the formation stays pretty much similar because I no offense to Rude, I think he's fairly stubborn in his formation. He doesn't really change it up. When I think he should, in the Premier League as well, I think there's a lot of players that we could be using to better abilities, and including Christensen and JJ. I think both of them are better as wing backs and not defenders, and I think it's been showing the past 10 odd games. So I would play with wing backs, but I'm not the manager. So I'm going to stick with the same formation because I imagine that's what we would do. Skip would be my first defensive mid. Again, lack of game time, and when he does play, another player that really, for £25 million from Spurs, has not proven himself enough in this team.
Yeah, but he's not even worth probably 10 million in my eyes. But
well, again, it's Leicester's way of doing it. When you look at it now, it's like we really didn't need him.
We've got Winks, you've got Indeed.
You look at Winks and even like Samari, who a lot of fans, said he's not good enough, and rightly so. But he's proved us wrong in the past 5 games. He's actually performing fairly good, as well as you can when you lose 5 in a row anyway. But Skip in the team again, like I said, I'm putting a B team out.
Yeah.
So the other one, I'll have a think whilst you put your next player in.
See, I'm seeing a lot of comments about Alves, and I've missed him in my team, if I'm totally honest. But I might change it around a tiny bit. The first player I'm putting in is a player we've never seen in a Leicester shirt, and that's Golding. I think there's only one time there's only one chance to play, and that is now, if I'm totally honest. I don't think we're going to see him in the Premier League. I don't see why you even got him in the first place, to be honest. It wasn't something to do with the Dewsbury signing. I do not know. But Golding, for me, give him a chance. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But for me, you put him in. And you put him in as well. I might as well put Skip in as well, because that's who's going in my top as well. That's me. I don't know about you. I don't know if you're going to agree with me on Golding.
Yeah, but I mean, who do you have available as defensive mids? It's Samari and Winks, isn't it? Those are the only two. Sindidi's still out.
You've got Golding. You've got the under 21 guy that has been on the bench a couple of times. The double barrel name, I don't know who it is, but could do under 21s, man. It's up to you.
Again, like I say, I'm struggling to. Do I put Winks in? No, I'm going to put Golding in as well. I agree. We've paid him, play him. Again, I don't want to be playing any of these. Samari and Winks will probably both end up starting against Palace anyway. So again, why risk the chance of an injury in a game that is really not important in some aspects, but is also very important in different aspects? We don't want to go there and lose, like I said, but we also don't want to go there. And I wouldn't mind if we lose, but the depends in the manner is if we lose. If the B team goes out there and loses, Okay, but if first team goes out there and it's just like Jesus, that's embarrassing. But
Chris Wall here says play Ward goal needs confidence restoring. I don't think he has any confidence left.
It doesn't.
I'd rather him stay out of the team and let him leave when his contract finishes, because I don't want him back in the team.
He's having us all on strings, mate, because he's the only one out of us that's on 50 grand a week to be sat on the bench.
He's happy sitting on the bench.
He gets to go to a lovely.
I bet he gets annoyed when he gets put in the team.
£100 million facility to eat lovely food, to play at a lovely training ground, do a few rounds of golf that they have there for free, massage, sauna, swimming pool, you name it. After a few hours of training, go home, sit on a bench, get to travel around the UK with his friends. And look at that! Thanks, boss, for giving me another 50 grand this week. Appreciate it. He's the one with having all our pants down, so
he's probably one of the only players, and I'm not trying to say him, but he's probably one of the players that gets annoyed when he gets put on.
I think I saw a stat. He's in the top 10 worst goalkeepers ever in the Premier League. And not to hark on him too much, but he's a big boy. I'm sure he can take it, considering he's on 200 grand a month.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind to swap positions with him any day of the week.
David says it's not Danny Ward's fault for accepting the contract, though. Well,
no, of course it's
not. It was our fault for giving him the contract.
He said the same about a lot of players. Of course it's not our fault or Danny Ward's fault. It's the club's fault for giving some of these players contracts, and that's obviously where PSR Reedy again is looming next week about we're going to get a points deduction because of spending too much money.
Yeah, Scott here is the one I was referring to. Cartwright could play in that midfield if needed. He is the under-21s that has been on the bench recently. But again, the only player I'd give time to now is Golding, because he's not played at all. So give him a bit of game time. I don't even know if he's even in the squad at all. But yeah, that's me. That's you with me. Let's get into the attack then, Sam. I don't think this man's even going to be in this team, on this database, because for some reason I'm going to try and put Monger in. Do you know the 15-year-old who's somehow doing brilliantly? I'm just going to put this guy in. He's 15 years old. He's apparently smashing it for our under 18s or whatnot. For me, I'm putting him in. I know that's not the guy, but
close enough.
Close enough. His name's Monge. Monger. Monger for me. There's no. Why not? Why not? He's 15-year-old. I know he's young, but he's showing it in the under 18s. Let's give him a go.
Hear what you're saying. I've literally never heard of this player, not gonna lie. So
I've not really. I've just known that he's done brilliantly for us in the under 18s. Why not give him a shout?
I get that. Yeah.
Monge is from
obviously the Aussie Phil B. Probably know about this guy, Australian winger. Is he any good? Because he's in Reedy's team. Obviously not the same player, but
no,
he's in Reedy's team.
Yeah, I'm trying. I can't find his name, but
obviously
he's a 15-year-old. He's not going to be on here. Is he allowed to play at 15? I think anyone's allowed to play at a certain age.
What time are we playing? It depends, actually. They have curfews for players.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, it might be someone more senior, but I thought, you know what? Give him a go. You never know. This guy could be a pretty future star in the next couple of years. We might as well give him a go in the FA Cup. And what if he scores an absolute screamer? Under 18s is Monger. Yeah, exactly. So for me, I'd give him a shout. I know it's a big shout, but I don't see the problem in it. In my eyes.
You do you. Go on, carry on. Next few players.
On the right, I've put AU because he's a B team player for me. He can come on as a sub in the Premier League, not for a starter. For me, AU is in the number. Is on the right wing for me.
Mavadidi's first team every week.
Yeah, go on, mate. You put your wingers.
I'll put Bobby Reed, left winger again. Someone of decent quality. And again, he's really not got that much game time under his belt so far. So I'd put Cordova Reed in there, and I'd probably put... Is McAteer, is he still injured?
McAteer, I think he just said he was back, didn't he?
Yeah.
Let me have a quick... Let me double check.
I think it said McAteer's back in training, so is it too soon?
He's back in training, so it's up to you.
If he was fit, I probably would start McAteer, but I don't know. I'm going to put McAteer in there because I think if he's fit, it's a good time to get him.
I would play him if he was, yeah.
Fitness, but obviously, they've said there, like Owen said, that he's back in training, so I assume if he's fit to do some training, he might be able to fit to start. Who knows? But I'd put him in there, If not, maybe RU as well, but again, it's grasping at straws really, because who else really plays in that right winger spot? Like I keep saying to you, the left and right wingers, I would completely drop them down 3 defenders and 2 wing backs and change up the system a bit more, but I know that's not going to happen. Reed's a bit too stubborn to do that, I think, and is what it is. So I'm going to try and put square pegs in round.
So here's one that we saw last year that we've not even... I think he's gone on loan, But David Fallow says, has Marcel left?
He's on loan. I think he's gone to a Scottish club, I believe. I think that might be Braybrook. I know that one of the Marcel, I think he has gone on loan somewhere to one of the lower leagues or up in the Scottish.
Because he looked quite okay, and I know he was in the Championship, but when in the first couple of games he played, he looked all right. He scored against who was that banger against? He scored in one of the first games of the season.
I don't know. He did well in those first 10 games and got an injury, didn't he? So yeah, I thought he did okay. I think there's a lot of players, like you said, that this season we could say, well, if we had them, we could at least have a rotational option of Cannon, Suter, Wanya Wanya as well on the wing, but we don't have them. They've all gone on loan, and we're stuck with what we've got at the moment. So
yeah, seeing if there's any more comments before we do move on. Was it Cardiff at home? Yes, there you go. That's what I remember. It was a good goal he scored. Right, Sam, 2 positions left. I'm gonna go for my first one. So this is where I either put Alves or Bobby Reid. I did have Bobby Reid in, but I'm going to put Alves in just because he's not had much game time. It's a chance for him to come in. If I can even find him, there he goes. No face, but there you go. This is where you put in all the players that you've not even seen before. But yeah, Alves for me goes in that team and see what he can do.
Yeah, well, like I say, it's a good time to try and get some of these fringe players, youth players into the team, and maybe like I said, my team is fairly B team, but I wouldn't mind seeing some of those youth players in. I mean, there was another lad, wasn't there? I think he was a defensive midfielder that we saw a couple of times last year. I forgot his name. It was quite a long one. I don't know if he's still with us.
Cover.
Was that his name?
Cover, yeah.
But he played a couple of games and he seemed okay, defensive midfield. But again, I don't know where he's gone. I don't know if he's back in the under 21s again. But wouldn't hate to see someone like that, come in and, prove to some of these players like Skip that who are on a lot of money and cost a lot of money. I
don't think that Goalkeeper did that badly when he was in that team as well. I think he did quite well when he was in the Enzo system. Marcel is playing for some Dutch team. I think it's that club, De Grafto, or something like that.
Yeah, I think Scott's just
Graafschap. Yeah, there you go.
The Graafschap. You have to say it. Go on, really try and say that as if you're a Dutch person.
I have to say it like rude, don't I?
Go on then.
De Graafschap.
Probably not far off. I think you're a Graafschap. You kind of split the last word.
Go on then, mate. You're attacking mid.
Yeah, I agree with Alves again. Fringe player, someone that again. This is me based on both Buonanotte and.
I wouldn't start any of them. I wouldn't start any of them.
No, but it's both. It's based on both those starting against Palace. But again, Buonanotte ain't been.
Does Buonanotte start because he didn't play much game time?
I think it'd be stupid to, and I think Rude's a bit of a stupid decision maker for that because I think Buonanotte pre him coming in and under Cooper first 12 games, easier games, but Buonanotte 4 goals 2 assists since Rude coming in 8 games. He's not got a goal or assist, so. Don't really know what Rude's done to Buonanotte, and I don't really know what he's done to deserve to be dropped. Obviously, we're not going to see everything, but arguably the best player of the season so far inside those first 12 games gets dropped. I mean,
in the first 12 games, yes, I'd agree, yeah.
But obviously, the last 10 games, 8 games, I don't know what's happened to him. So I'd like to think that we'd start Alves over Buonanotte. Buonanotte gets his way back into the team. So, I mean, David's put there that there might be talks of a recall. Yeah, but if that's the case, but why not play him still? Because he's the best player. If we've dropped points because we've not started Buonanotte, because Brighton might have recalled him in January, I think that's a bit stupid because, we're just letting ourselves down in that aspect. And I'm not being funny. We're not really replaced him, have we? If we have been dropping Buonanotte, there isn't a player that's come into the team and done any better.
What in what role though? Because I think Elkanous has been better than Buonanotte since Elkanous has been in the team.
I think
that's because Buonanotte's not been playing as much because of that.
It depends on what you define as good. I think Elkanous has done fairly well, but Buonanotte has definitely been better in front of goal. If
his stats scoring wise and assisting wise is better.
Because I think that's the key thing. I mean, we looked at the goals and goals scored and goals conceded over the last 8 games, and we've conceded 21 goals and scored 8. It really isn't good enough. There is no attacking threat. As well as Elkanous is doing, he needs to start, being well on the other side of the pitch as well as he's doing in the middle of the park. As an attacking mid, he's got to be able to get that ball forward. And same with Vardy, same with the wingers. The whole attacking threat and defence. This is the issue really. The basics at the moment is we're not attacking well, we're not defending well. So
yeah.
that's thoughts for Wednesday. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we come to the Palace game after the QPR one. But yeah, Alves in my team.
Striker, you going to play the £90 million player or the 90 grand week player?
£90 million. I wish we had a £90 million. God, that's like Haaland in our team. Don't have that. Yeah, Edouard, I'd start because again, I would probably, for me,
Edouard start
for me because Daka and Vardy for me are my two starters for Palace. I'm already thinking ahead of that game, so Edouard, he's in there, and again, like you said, are we going there to win? I mean, it'd be interesting to see like how many. Put in the comments below it. Do you want to?
I don't know what. If we lined up this team like together, I don't think we could beat anyone.
Well, we should. Edward's on a lot of money and he did well. Looking at probably.
Terence says, if you look at this side, I'll be gone by half time.
Yeah, fair enough. But I don't think we're going to go out there and put a first team out there.
They should still beat them.
It really should. Edward and I.
A lot of them players are still lower Premier League players.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course, but. Yeah, you can argue championship as well, I think.
Well, yeah, but what I mean? It should be an equal game. It shouldn't be QPR being easily beaten us.
Chris says Edouard needs to send him back to Palace. I'll say it again. He's not going back because Palace have given us and they've had our pants down and they've said, yeah, you pay half his wages because he's rubbish. We don't want him. So, they're not going to do it. But yeah, really putting Daka in his team. The only reason I don't put Daka in my team is because I want to see two strikers against Palace. I'd rather.
I don't think that's going to happen, then, mate. So
no, it's not going to
happen.
Like
I don't mind.
To see.
I don't mind Daka starting today because I know that he's only going to get a few minutes against Palace.
Yeah, potentially, but again,
he's not going to start. I
mean, I'll throw you the ballpark. Is that an issue that Rude needs to stop? Does he need to change it up a little bit more? Because
I probably would start Edouard today, but tomorrow, Saturday. But I don't think it'll happen. That's why I'm not putting him in. I wouldn't be annoyed if he got played, but realistically, he's only had 26 minutes of game time in the Premier League this season. He's had more in the cup, but realistically, he's not doing enough.
I get it. You can make an argument for them. Again,
the only thing we know is Vardy won't be.
In my biggest eyes, I'm not fussed about QPR. I don't want to put in any of those I say for even fringe, kind of players of Daka. If Daka's going to be, a substitute or a potential starter for Wednesday, I wouldn't risk giving him, minutes in his legs.
Surely you'd be shocked if Vardy starts.
Vardy won't start against QPR.
That's what I'm just saying. The fact of that's why it's either Daka or Edouard. It's not going to be Vardy. Terence says that's probably why the stadium plans half still left empty. No one's buying the tickets, even though they're only like a tenner, I think. So,
can you blame Fanto for not wanting to go? I mean, I go to every home game.
I'll be there. Don't worry.
I go to every home game. I watch those ones, but I mean, if obviously those who don't have season tickets, I don't blame you for going to games. It's not easy to get tickets at the moment, but I don't
know. Let's see what else people are saying. Yeah, Chris agrees with me. Daka up front. Who's looking forward to the fire sale in the summer? Hopefully not, mate. Hopefully we're going to keep all of our players because we're staying in the league.
If we stay in the league, we can get rid of them as well. That's fine by me. If we stay in the league, we can get rid of a handful.
Curtis says here, like we said earlier, best of on marketed, the monitor says Van Nistelrooy. And then the last one says, I bought 7 because the only chance I can.
Yeah, you get it. They say it's not easy to get league games because the system's pretty rubbish at the club. So
just buy 7 tickets.
I don't blame you.
So it's basically the same price as an FA Cup ticket, mate. 7 tickets, them prices.
Yeah.
£70. You'd rather do that. But there you go. Right, guys, there's our teams. As you can see here, this is mine. And there's Sam's. Obviously, not much different. Obviously, you've got the right side different and the striker. But other than that, we've kind of agreed on a lot of the positions.
I think there's a few things. The only one I'd say that is just Justin and Chowdhury. I think I'd rather start Justin just because I'd rather see Chowdhury in the Premier League.
I'm just trying to get more game time into Chowdhury to give that more of that position.
Would you want Chowdhury to start on Wednesday, though?
Yes, but
why risk him getting injured then against QPR?
I'm not risking him getting injured.
Well, you are. Any player you start has a risk of getting injured. Any player has a risk of getting injured anyway. But for me, I wouldn't go out there against the Championship side that this far in the competition. They're probably going to go out there and they're going to try and beat us because if they want to get something out of this season.
If JJ gets injured, then that's probably a better solution for us. But yeah, I get what you mean. I wouldn't mind Justin starting if it meant that Chowdhury starts in the Premier League, but I'm just doing it to give him more game time in that role to get used to it more because he's going to be hopefully playing it in the next few games as well. If there's anyone in my team, Sam, before we finish, is there anyone you would change? in your opinion?
No, I think, like I say, it's fairly in my team or your team.
In mine, I'm showing you now.
You're showing me yours, yes. No, I think, I think that's fine. I think your players are, there's nothing. The only one I would say is Chowdhury, because I'd say I want to see him in the Premier League, so I wouldn't risk him. I wouldn't risk the chance of him getting injured against, Championship teams can be quite bullish, can't they? So I wouldn't risk that injury.
Edouard back to Palace and score against Leicester on Wednesday. That would be hilarious, wouldn't it? That would be hilarious.
You might as well relegate us. If that happened, just relegate us, They recall him, he scores
Oh,
against us.
God, that would be embarrassing.
It'd be funny, but embarrassing.
Yes, right, there you go. There's my team.
Score predictions. Let's do a quick score prediction.
Go on, mate. You go for it.
With that team in mind, we really should be going to beat them anyway, because, again, like I said, if you look at those...
Does it go to penalties?
I don't know if it goes to penalties or replays. I might go to penalties.
I think it's extra time as well, isn't it?
Yeah, extra time penalties. I'm going to say 2-1. I think it's going to be closer than you might realise. We probably will concede still, because you don't know what QPR are going to turn up. They might think, well, now's a great time to play a team and move forward in a cup competition, get some extra pennies and some extra telly games. They might face someone big and get on the telly and get quite a decent amount of revenue from that. So they might go out there and face us and actually go out and try. So I'm going to say 2-1, personally.
Yeah, Scott, tell us a score prediction for his team, for Sam's team as well. Just so we know. That's what we should do going forward as well. See what team people think the team's, what score prediction we're going to get. Do you know what? I don't want to be negative, but I think we'll get a draw and we'll beat them on penalties. I think it will be harder than we think because of the team we have to put out. But yeah. And Scott says he don't agree with your team.
What, we'll
he's
lose
going 3-1.
My team ain't that different to read it.
I think it's because you've got JJ in. I think it's because you've got JJ in.
Well, in hindsight, he should be better than QPR, but each to their own.
There you go. There's the last comment of the day. QPR 1 defeat in the last 9 games. It's better than our record. There you go. Right, yeah, you go, guys. As you can see, last time to show you the teams. That's Sam's team, and that's mine. Appreciate you all coming in. Make sure to put your comments down below to say who team's better and if you make any changes. And make sure to check out the show tonight with Loft for Words. Sorry.
God, you're lost for words, aren't you, mate?
Yeah, I am lost for words.
Lost for brains as well.
To make sure to check out the preview tonight with Jono and Simon. So make sure you keep all S1 TV, and we'll catch you all.
Just that last comment, quickly. Ben said, "It is John Rudkin. He's monitoring what we're saying."
Yeah.
It's not. It's actually Jake.
Yeah, Jake. Yeah, there you go.
Like the John Rudkin of the office.
There you go. Cheers, guys, and we'll see you all next time.